Hey, I'm Sonia Bompastor, ex-footballer professional. No, ex-professional. Yeah, I knew it.
It's been a huge first season for ex-Lyon legend and Chelsea manager Sonia Bompastor. But her journey to the top of both her playing and managerial career started very early. Born in the French town of Lyon, Sonia naturally gravitated to football through the influence of her brothers and dad.
We were really passionate about football since I'm young.
But playing football as a girl at that time wasn't easy.
How is it possible for a girl to play? Oh, so easy, they have a girl in their team, we are going to win. Hearing all these negative comments, made me realize I wanted to convince them they were wrong.
Sonia overcame the odds to rise to get a place at the French Football Federation's Clairefontaine Academy. Sonia was destined to rise to the top and made over 100 appearances with Lyon, winning the Division 1 Feminine 6 times and the Champions League twice during her reign.
Yeah, that's exciting, really good memories.
After retiring in 2023, Sonia transitioned over to management, first managing Lyon's academy for 8 years before managing the first team in 2021. Sonia led the team to 7 trophies, including 3 consecutive Division 1 titles and a Champions League win in 2022. In May 2024, Sonia was appointed Chelsea manager, taking on another incredibly high-performing and diverse team.
The club already won a lot of titles. We really want to make sure we work hard to achieve that big goal.
And she's taken her family along for the ride. With 4 children, Sonia also opened up about the challenges of juggling a young family with her role at Chelsea.
I wanted to find the right balance between being a mom and also having a job with responsibilities.
This is Sonia Bompastor, and this is her story.
Hi, my name is Sonia Bompastor, ex-professional footballer and now manager of Chelsea Women, in partnership with Free and Chelsea for the We See You network.
Sonia, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you've had a very busy schedule, a very busy day of training. First off, can you tell us a bit about where you're from and what your childhood and teenage years were like growing up?
It was a long time ago. So I'm from France, a small town, no one really knows about it. I grew up with 2 brothers in a really kind family. I think my mother and my father just worked really hard to give us what we wanted to have. We were all kids really passionate about football. And I'm in the middle, so I have 1 youngest brother and 1 oldest one. I was always trying in my childhood and also my teenage years, trying to follow my oldest brother. And my dad was a referee. My oldest brother, played football since he was young. And I think I got passionate because they were also passionate about football.
And did you go to some of their games with them?
Yeah. We were going every weekend. Saturday, Sunday were about football, and almost every day in my life since I'm young. I think I had a really nice childhood, spending with friends, playing football at school. Most of the time with boys because I was almost the only girl. I had for 1 year 1 girl who was coming with me, but because it was so difficult in that time for girls to play football. She was not like, she didn't go for more because people were just being not nice to her, and with me it's same.
And how do you overcome something like that when they've got people saying that you won't be able to make it or you're not good enough? How did you cope with that and get over that?
Yeah, that's difficult. I have to say that's a challenge. But I think because probably of my personality and my character, I was all these negative comments were probably giving me more power just to make people realize I'm not going to give up because I'm so passionate about football and I just want to play. I don't care if I'm playing with boys and if I'm the only girl playing with them. I just want to try to enjoy. And actually I have to say I started with this mentality, and years after years, I just was trying after to convince people it was possible to be a girl and playing with boys. And maybe my main focus was to make them not saying bad things about me playing, because in the beginning they were like, oh, so easy, they have a girl in their team, we are going to win. How is it possible for a girl to play? And hearing all this noise, negative comments, made me realize I wanted to convince them they were wrong.
And what would you say are some of the biggest role models that you've had growing up?
I would say probably men's ones, just because, yeah, on TV, we couldn't see women playing football at that time. And also, yeah, from my family and a lot of people around me were more males. So yeah, I grew up like this, and I was really happy to be with yeah, boys around me, and most of the males, famous ones, they were the ones I was like watching.
And when was the first time you sort of became aware of professional women's football players?
Oh, really, yeah, really late in my career. I think probably when I was around 18, 20 years old. So, because I started to play football at the highest level. And actually, I went to Clairefontaine. It's basically the St. George's Park here in London, in England, sorry. And I think, yeah, that's where I started to realize we had a women's national team in France with some big players. And yeah, really late in my in my career.
And would you say there's anyone in your life that you felt really recognised your talent and saw your potential? Like, who was that person?
Yeah, probably one of my coaches when I was young. I was 12 years old. I was playing at that moment with boys, and he just wanted to have me playing with girls. And yeah, from the beginning, he knew I was a young player who were really passionate about football, and I wanted to play every day. So yeah, he just gave me my chance to play with girls, and he was always supporting me in the right way just for me to move in the right direction.
What do initiatives such as the We See You network mean to the football community?
Yeah, I think the We See You network is a really positive thing because when I think about it, in my time I didn't have any role model, a woman's role model, and I think like giving the opportunity to the young generation to see and recognize as a woman you can achieve main goals, and yeah, give them the opportunity to see that, to encourage them to do the same. I think that's really powerful, and yeah, I'm yeah really pleased with this initiative. And yeah, when I was young, I was hoping to have maybe this type of organizations were able to show me as a woman you can achieve a lot of good things.
And what does your support network look like now? Is that friends, family, other coaches?
Yeah, yeah, kind of, yeah, friends, family. My family is my biggest support. When I was young, and now I have my own kids, and they are always supporting me. So yeah, it's really important, and yeah, all these organizations are yeah really important.
And your family still come to a lot of the Chelsea games? Are they able
Yeah,
to?
so they watch almost every game on TV. I have my kids who try to come in every game, especially the games at home. Yeah, that's really special for me. Means a lot and gives you so much power.
And do you see your kids being part of Chelsea at some point in the future?
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, you know, I just want to do what my parents did to me, give them the right support. For sure, yeah, I will always support them on the right direction, the right way. But yeah, actually, for me, the main thing is for them to be passionate about something. If they are passionate about sport, I will be really happy. If it's about music or some other things, I will be happy. I just want my kids to be as happy as I was when I was a kid. So yeah, that's the main thing for me.
And you mentioned before there, sort of, being around sort of passionate people. Who are some of the most passionate players or committed coaches that you've worked with so far in your career?
I would say the most passionate player, maybe Wendy Renard, who is the French captain. She's playing for Lyon. Yeah, since she's a kid. She joined Lyon when she was 14 years old. So I knew her from that age. And even now she's 34. And she's still passionate about her job now. And yeah, that's really good to see that. And probably as coach, I would say Gérard Prêcher is a French coach. He was the one I had when I was in Clairefontaine in France, and yeah, obviously he was the one who teach me everything almost in football.
And do you think there is any unsung heroes in your journey at all? Any sort of great people behind the scenes who really helped you, who people might not know about?
I would say probably the ones who were here from the beginning. They were just here to try to help a young girl to grow in surrounded by boys, and it was not a really positive environment. So yeah, they are probably the ones who are behind the scenes, not really known, but yeah, probably the most important, because if I didn't have that support at that time, probably I could have gave up. So yeah.
And what was the experience like transitioning from playing to being a manager? How did you find that?
I found this quite easy. I would say probably because I retired when I was playing for Lyon. I was 33 years old, and yeah, I had the opportunity straight away to become the head of the women's department at the academy in Lyon. So yeah, I just felt from the beginning, the president at that time gave me the opportunity to have a big responsibility in my job, and I felt yeah, really happy about that. But quite easy because I was in an environment where I knew almost everyone, so it's more easy to start like this. The WCU network is open, which means you have the opportunity to win and participate in once in a life experiences with Free and Chelsea FC. Nominate now.
And did you ever feel any kind of imposter syndrome at all, sort of going into the job, maybe not having had that experience before?
Yeah, I would say maybe my biggest fear in the beginning was I retired because I wanted to have kids, and going to a job where you spend a lot of time and a lot of energy every day. It's almost 7 days a week, and yeah, 10 hours a day. Yeah, I wanted to find the right balance between being a mom and also having a job with responsibilities. So in the beginning, I started to think it was not possible. But actually, if you have the right organization at home, yeah, it's possible. And this is something now, how as a woman, I want to, yeah, encourage women to just believe in their dream and do what they think is good for them.
What would you say your managerial style is like when you manage so many different and very large personalities in the squad?
Yeah, my management is a lot about the values. That's really important for me, for the players to realize. As a manager, I always want to make sure I support them and I work as hard as I can to support them, for them to feel the best version of themselves on the pitch. But also, I want to give them the opportunity to know I'm also a human. And yeah, as a woman, I have some emotions and feelings, and I can understand they also have some feelings and emotions. So I want to make sure we find the right balance between when I am the manager being really demanding on themselves, but also when we talk about the person, we can talk about everything. And I think I would say respect is maybe, yeah, one value is really important for me. Humility, because you need to realize, yeah, that's a lot of hard work, but yeah, you have to stay humble even when you have success. And people are really important for me. The consideration you can give to people, it's something really important.
And how do you make sure that each player feels seen, understood, and heard when you've got so many players to sort of manage and look after?
Yeah, always with making sure you give them time to come and communicate to you. Sometimes, as a person and as a manager, some players will feel more comfortable coming and talking to me. Some others maybe will be more comfortable talking with the assistant coaches or someone else in the staff. So it's giving them the opportunity to feel like we work in a safe environment. I want them to come every day and enjoy what they do, because they are lucky enough to do a job with their passion, but also, yeah, just giving them the opportunity to talk to people when they have to.
And you brought in quite a few new players, obviously been quite a busy transfer window. You obviously are so good at recognising the talent in players. How do you go about doing that? What's your process?
When you played yourself, I think you understand maybe a little bit more about the high level, the women's football. And I think, yeah, as a player, also I was always making sure like I was smart enough to understand the game. So when I go and watch games and players, I try to recognize the players who have the talent for sure, but also the ones who understand the game. But after, like, I want to have players who can fit in my game model and my philosophy, the way we want to play. it's about like the quality and the talent on the pitch, but also the values they have outside the pitch.
And it's quite stressful when you get into the transfer windows. It's quite a lot of things to manage, I suppose.
Yeah, the transfer window is getting bigger and bigger, especially in the women's game. I think now it's almost the same as the men's game. But yeah, that's exciting, when you have this opportunity to bring more players in your squad. I think I'm lucky enough to already have a good squad in Chelsea with a lot of talent. We have depth, and I think that's really important when you want to compete in every competition. But also like bringing the players who can fit in your game model. It's also something really important. So I think we are at the moment quite happy with the squad we have, and if we can bring some players who can have a more impact in the squad and in the performances and the results, it will be good.
And what's your ambition for the team this year? What are you hoping to achieve by the end of the season?
I think I already answered that question, but the ambitions of the club are really obvious. I think the club already won a lot of titles, so we want to make sure we compete in every competition. But of course, the Champions League is a special one. I think Chelsea has already been really close to achieve that goal, but not yet. And I think all the fans, all the club, and even myself and the players, we really want to make sure we work hard to achieve that big goal. But of course, all the other titles are also really important. So the WSL and the FA Cup and the League Cup. So in the minutes, we are really happy because we are in every competition, and we want to make sure we keep the right mentality to stay in every competition as far as we can.
And this section is just a bit of a wrap up of your career, so sort of a bit of a quick fire in a way. So who's the best player you've ever played against?
I would say the best player I ever played against, Marta. Yeah, in US.
Why so?
So talented, so smart, and I would say in advance for her time. She made a big impact in the women's game, but also for her country. So I think she's a real true model. I had the opportunity to play against her. It was really difficult, but also we had 2 games where we played together in the US. So yeah, really great personality and also great player.
And are you still in touch with Marta at all? Did you speak to her after the Olympics?
No, not really. But I think if we have to talk to each other, we are fine to do that, especially because she speaks Portuguese and I speak Portuguese, so we'll be happy to do that.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge in your career so far?
Probably to run my personal life and my professional life, especially with having 4 kids. Yeah, that's not always easy, but that's quite challenging, but I love that.
And what would you say is your biggest career highlight so far?
Biggest highlight moment in my career, probably when we won the first Champions League in 2011. Actually, it was in Fulham, so not that far away from here, and really good memories.
How did you celebrate that?
Oh yeah, I was like crazy, in that time, like when you just achieve your goal, your emotions are so high, and it's difficult sometimes to express in words. But the emotions were great. First time for the club, first time for me as a player, and I was the captain, so I was the first woman at that time in France to lift that trophy, and you feel so proud of what you achieved.
And do you feel like you were recognised back home for what you'd achieved?
Yeah, actually, we were recognized after being able to win the Champions League. I think before that game, we were like in the club, but we couldn't feel like we were part of the club. We were the women's team, but not really implement in the club. But as soon as we won the Champions League, I think everyone was changing their mind and also the way they were watching us. And I think the position in the club for the women's team completely changed. And I think it's a big statement.
And what's the happiest you've ever been in your career?
Probably when I first won the Champions League as a manager, 3 years ago now. Big achievement. I was not expecting that, and you work so hard as a manager. When you are a player, actually, you think a lot about yourself. when you are a manager, you always think about the other ones. You are the last one you think about. So yeah, as a manager, yeah, just so proud to be able to achieve that again in a different position.
What would you say is the biggest difference between playing and managing?
I think when you play, you can control. When you are a manager, you just set up the game plan for the players, and after you cross your fingers, and yeah, you just hope the players can achieve and execute the game plan. So different, you can't control anymore as much as you are when you are a player.
What would you say is your craziest football story?
I would say probably when we won the first Champions League, we went in the French Riviera, Saint-Tropez, and so maybe I'll go for that because the other one will be like, yeah, when I was a player, I just shot a PK and the PK went over the bar in the fans, and so I think the one with Saint-Tropez will be better memory.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll go for that. Yeah, craziest. Yeah, okay.
If you could change one thing about the women's football industry, what would it be?
Probably being able to bring more fans in the stadium. I would be really happy if, yeah, at some point the fans just come for every game as much as on the men's side.
And what do you do for fun outside of football? What makes you laugh and feel carefree and takes you away from your managerial responsibilities?
I would say, yeah, spending time with my kids and my family. Yeah, sometimes they just make up some crazy stuff and make me laugh. But yeah, when I'm the most happy, it's when I'm with my kids, especially after a win with Chelsea, when they come on the field with me and they can just enjoy and understand what is my job.
And do you have any sort of crazy hobbies or anything like that at all? Are you a big reader, or do you do karate in your spare time or anything like this at all?
No, not really. I don't have any craziest hobbies. Yeah, I just do some sports. Yeah, I go for runs, but nothing else really crazy.
Cool. If you could name one person you would like to nominate for the We See network, so that could be a coach, a player, or someone in the media space.
I would like probably to nominate to the WCU network Sarina Wigman, just because for me she's a real true model. She has ambitions. She won, and especially yeah, the Euro in England. Yeah, she also won the Euro with her country 4 years before, and I think like what she just showed to people, she's so calm, and also yeah, she just give a lot of power to women. So yeah, Sarina Wigman.
Love that strong choice.
Yeah, thank you.